time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
What's up, guys? My name is Brendan, and today I want to teach you how you can learn tricking. I want to go over the many different learning styles of tricking athletes, as well as give you a ton of resources so that way you can teach yourself and show others along the way. So with that said, let's get started. Before you do any tricking, you need to understand the risk. Just like gymnastics or parkour, tricking is a risky sport. That's because it's athletically challenging and it requires you to be strong, flexible, and extremely fit. Before you start tricking, look into the sport. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into and acknowledge that this is risky and you need to approach it in a safe, progressive manner. Now that we've got that out of the way, I want to talk to you guys about 3 different learning styles. You see, I don't think there is a quote-unquote right way to learn tricking. I think regardless of how you approach the sport or progress along it, it's all great. And not everybody's gonna learn tricking in the same way. We're all different people, we're all individuals, and we all have to take responsibility for ourselves and figure out which learning style is gonna be best for us and how we personally can move forward in the sport. The first learning style that I want to talk about is the autodidact. An autodidact is someone who teaches themselves. When it comes to the sport of tricking, it's super risky, like I said, so I don't normally recommend people just teach themselves. But when tricking first started, no one had any instructors, so people just learned along the way. This is how we get amazing athletes like Velu. He didn't have a tricking instructor. Rather, he decided to take responsibility for his own tricking education and learn the sport, travel, and explore. If you guys want to take an autodidact approach, keep in mind you need to be responsible. If you do not moderate your training, or if you rush, you might get hurt. The autodidact approach is great, but it pushes the most responsibility on the athlete. The second learning style that I want to talk to you about is the master and apprentice. And this is how I learned most of my skills. In this learning style, you have one person acting as an instructor and the other acting as a student. One person pours all of their thoughts, their energy, their commitment into another person growing and learning. This could be a very formal apprenticeship, or it could not be. When I started tricking, I was just the only person in the class. So the instructor just had me. So I got the most attention I could, and I pretty much got an apprenticeship. Plus, this is how I got most of my background, by watching my mom and my dad coach their kids and then absorbing it along the way. If you guys want to get a really detailed approach into tricking, and if you have the opportunity to have someone who is very knowledgeable and trustworthy, find a master and become their apprentice. Trust me, if you want to learn safely, that is the best way possible. The third learning style that I want to talk about is student of the community. And this is the approach that I use today, and it's the approach that I would recommend for most other athletes. There are so many resources out there, from Plan Zero videos, videos by Kojo's Trick Lab, even Michael Guthrie. The information for trickers is huge. And if you go online, take responsibility for your progression, and consume information, you will be so educated and so ready to go when you finally go to train. If you are struggling to learn tricking, what I would recommend is embrace being a student of the community, whether that's going to gatherings and learning from people in person, going on YouTube and searching tutorials, or using something else like Kojo's Trick Lab or Adrenaline. If you're able to work with your community to grow and succeed, it will be so much better than if you're an autodidact struggling to teach themselves, or if you're in an unbalanced master-apprentice relationship. What I would recommend is just become a student of the community. Let's all learn from each other and push this sport to new heights. Finally, I want to share with you the best educational tricking resources. If you want to learn this sport, use the information that's out there. Athletes like me are creating tutorials, building websites, and making an infrastructure so that way people like you can learn this sport. So use these resources to help you along your tricking progression. The first resource that I want to talk about is my website, and it's something I built just for you guys, the Mastering Tricking community. On my website, there's sections about how you can start tricking, tricking terminology, as well as strength, flexibility, and injury. If you're a new athlete or even an experienced one, go check out my website. It would mean the world to me. Plus, there is so much great information on there to help you guys learn, grow, and succeed along your tricking journeys. The second resource that I want to share with you is Club 540. Club 540 was built by Juju Mufu, and it's an amazing resource for helping tricking athletes understand terminology and the relative difficulty between certain skills. You see, it's kind of hard to quantify the difficulty of a cork versus the difficulty of a butterfly twist, mostly because they're on two totally separate progression chains. But in Club 540, all the skills are listed by their relative difficulty to one another. It's an amazing tricking resource and one that I personally used when I first approached the sport. The third resource that I want to share with you is Tricking.Shop. And this website is phenomenal for learning the intricate details of tricking. You see, cork is a skill, but cork can be landed in 4 different landing stances. And Tricking.Shop does a great job of describing all of these and giving them nice defined terminology. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the details of tricking and get a very micro approach on the sport, go check out Tricking.Shop. The fourth resource that I want to talk to you about is Kojo's Trick Lab. And this website is fantastic. There are hundreds of tricking tutorials made by the trickers who specialize in those skills. Not only that, but there are so many tutorials from Michael Guthrie, the GOAT himself. So if you guys want to learn tricking and watch a ton of tutorials made by trickers all over the world, go check out Kojo's Trick Lab. Keep in mind though, there is a paywall. You do need to support Kojo if you want to use Kojo's Trick Lab. It is pretty cheap though, so guys, go check it out. The fifth and final educational tricking resource that I want to share with you guys is Adrenaline Worldwide. Just like Kojo's Trick Lab, Adrenaline is a paid service. But with that, you get a ton of tricking tutorials made by some of the best athletes in the world. Not only that, but if you're a sport martial artist, you also get access to weapons tutorials. Keep in mind, Adrenaline is primarily a battle platform, but there are some great educational resources nestled in with all of their other content. So guys, go check out Adrenaline Worldwide. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check out any of the resources I just mentioned, I'll leave links in the description down below. And if you want to suggest a topic for the next video, please leave it in the comments. But thank you again for watching and have a lovely day.